So the new session is coming up. You are the chairman of the House Education Committee. What are you planning to propose this session?
I think our legislative agenda will be in four different categories. The first is around school financial transparency. We've seen a number of schools over the last year and a half experience significant financial distress, and ensuring that our taxpayer dollars are being used wisely is top of mind for a lot of constituents. The second is around school safety. We've had two troubling reports from the Auditor General, one regarding the emergency operations plans that most LEAs in the sample study didn't fully complete. And then recently we had the interoperability report around cameras and technology and how most of those systems are either going unused or underused, and understanding how that fits in with the school safety response time. So I think having a larger oversight component of how schools are handling their school safety responsibilities will be important. The third is around early literacy. 36% of Arizona third graders are proficient in reading. That's unacceptable. We have to boost those rates. And I think it comes down to ensuring that teachers have the proper training, and that resources are being put towards evidence-based interventions around high dosage tutoring, um, additional teacher reading coaches. Those types of evidence-based interventions can go a long way. So we want to put the onus on the school districts to prioritize those topics. And then the fourth is around our accountability system writ large. It is largely a joke. We hand out A's and B's like candy, and it isn't a real reflection of the academic performance of a particular school site. So I'd like to put forward a legislative commission that will evaluate not just school letter grades, but our assessment process, our graduation requirements, our formula, and how that all supports these topics, among other things.
When you're talking about the formula, which formula are you talking about specifically?
Our state funding formula for schools. I think that the state has provided the wrong incentives to schools, where we're not prioritizing outcomes in a meaningful way. When we reward schools on graduation rates, and that's important. We want kids to graduate, but we also want them to be able to read and write and do math. And when you have high graduation rates and low proficiency rates, there is a significant mismatch of incentives that the state is sending. So we need to take a hard look at that.
When you mentioned literacy, I know that the state has a certification for the science of reading. So are you looking to add on top of that? Because I know that it's supposed to be starting in 2028. They're all supposed to, K-5, I believe, is supposed to have that certification.
What's really concerning, Eleni, is that we put this requirement into place back in 2021 with a glide path to 2028 of ensuring that teachers get that critical science of reading endorsement. It's evidence-based. We know it works. It's used in other states, and we've seen a lot of success. Yet today, only 11% of the teachers in that population that needs to be certified have actually gotten certified. So the question I have, and that many of us have, what have our school leaders been doing all of these years? Why haven't they been prioritizing resources for this kind of important professional development, given how critical third grade reading is? So I'll have a bill that sets out clear expectations between now and 2028 of where schools need to be. And if they're not making adequate progress, then we will redirect some of their existing professional development dollars towards the K-5 science of reading standard.
So I've done some reporting on the science of reading, that whole thing, and what I've been hearing from administrators and teachers is the time and the money to be able to do it. I don't know if there's anything that you want to address there.
Absolutely. We want schools to spend money that they would have otherwise spent on sending their teachers to Vegas, or to the Coronado Island. I mean, they have lots of professional development monies. And to me, I feel like they're not prioritizing it on perhaps the most important segment of a child's academic journey in a K-12 system, which is K-3 and that third grade reading component. You really need to prioritize that, especially if third grade reading levels are, in the dumps, which statewide average, again, is 36% of third graders are proficient in reading on third grade reading level. And that's important because third grade reading is the inflection point in a child's academic journey where they shift from learning how to read to using reading to learn. So there's plenty of money in these professional development budgets, and we need our schools to prioritize them wisely.
When we're talking about reforming the um, way we fund schools, are there more specifics that you can give of what you're looking for or trying to do?
Well, at the very minimum, and again, going back to the basics here, we have lots of standards in the state. I think we may have too many standards where we focus on, we're a mile wide and an inch deep. Well, when we're an inch deep when it comes to reading and math and writing, that's a problem. Um, but we've created this structure that has awarded schools based on things besides achievement. We have to shift that dynamic. And this commission is going to look at how we can align our funding formula. There are many different components in it right now. If you have if you have a higher population of students with free and reduced price lunch, an indicator of poverty, you get extra money. If you have students with special needs, there are accommodations in the formula for that. But what about having kids ready for college, career, or military? There just doesn't seem to be the right incentives that go along with that. So what I'd like us to do is when we overhaul our accountability system, when we overhaul our standards, when we overhaul our graduation requirements, that we and our assessment tools, that we align our state funding formula with those changes. Now, I don't know what those are going to be at this point. The commission is going to be charged with that over several years. I mean, we're talking about steering or turning an aircraft carrier when it comes to K-12 education. But there are really promising approaches out there across the country in places like Texas. Even Massachusetts has some things going well. Mississippi, Florida, Utah, Wyoming. There are many areas that we're seeing some great reforms and a great shift back to the basics. Take the politics out of the classroom. Let's just focus on basic reading, writing, and arithmetic, and get those down really well before we start going beyond that in a broader sense.
Something to also bring up, following up Melissa's report on the superintendent pay. I saw she had mentioned that you wanted to introduce something, but I think someone else did. Is that right? Or I guess where are you at with that?
Yeah, I'm working with that state representative, Representative Livingston, who's introducing an online portal bill, and we want to make sure that the public knows exactly how much superintendents are being compensated, what is going into their salary, and is it appropriate? So I have several superintendent compensation bills, one of which addresses performance-based pay. Right now, superintendents are eligible to get up to, I believe it's 20% or 25% of their salary on top of their base salary for performance. And the standards around that are pretty hazy. So we want to provide clarity, expectations requiring supermajority votes by school boards. But even more importantly than that, should a superintendent be getting a performance-based bonus when their reading proficiencies are in the 20 percentile range? I mean, should that be an expectation of our superintendents that the students attending their schools are actually thriving and at the very least meeting the statewide average in terms of performance. So there will be several bills related to that. There's another one related to all of these add-ons, car allowances, cell phone allowances, civic participation allowances, deferred compensation when they're already getting a pension contribution from the same governmental entity. I think that, whatever you're going to offer to the rest of your school employees, the superintendent should be subject to the same constraints instead of having them as some kind of outlier. I think that sends a bad message to the rest of the school community.
We talked about Prop 123 for the last, 2 years. Is there anything that's going to happen with it this year?
Speaker Montenegro and the leadership team are checking in with our House colleagues to see what the appetite might be to take on 123 in this upcoming session. I know the Senate has expressed interest as well. I think, Republicans are still in the same place, which is that we want these new dollars to be used for increased teacher pay, teacher pay, teacher pay. And that is the biggest challenge that we are having. Superintendent Horn has mentioned this in the last month, I believe, is that we have a hard time retaining and attracting teachers in the classroom. And that is the single most important variable in the academic outcome of a student. So that's important to us, as well as protecting all of our school choice options. Whether you're attending a district school, a charter school, a home school, you're using an empowerment scholarship account, or student tuition organization, a tax benefit, we want you to be able to retain those options. And that's a tension right now that some, including Governor Katie Hobbs, would like to get rid of school choice options for Arizona children and families. And that's a really important aspect for Republicans when it comes to education policy.
Would you guys accept any ESA guardrails?
We already have guardrails. They're already in place. One of the bills that I'll be pursuing is providing more resources to the Department of Education to staff and ensure that those guardrails are enforced. I mean, we went from 11,000 students participating in this program in 2020 to over 90,000 in 2025. But we haven't kept up the staffing ratio. We had one staff per 250 students in 2020. Now we have one staff per probably 4,200 students in 2025. So parents and families expect to access their benefit in a timely manner. We need more resources to provide that customer service and to also provide the necessary oversight of existing guardrails we have in place. So I'll be introducing a bill to provide emergency funding so that ADE can get started immediately.
Several school boards have discussed and chose to close some schools this school year. This has been a thing that's been happening in the last few years. I saw your email to the Scottsdale School Board as well. Is there anything that the legislature can do to stop these schools from closing down?
There are a few aspects here. For instance, the Isaac Elementary School District that was on the verge of bankruptcy earlier this year, they refused to close schools. And so they kept schools and staff on when they couldn't sustain that financially based on their student enrollment. So we do have a demographic challenge here. The largest kindergarten class in Arizona was in 2012. So expect to see student populations decline overall because of birth rates being lower than they have been historically. That being said, there is a lot of unused vacant space throughout the state. And that's costing taxpayers money to keep those buildings. I think that we need to start selling off vacant properties so that you can support your existing programs and that you could possibly even reinvigorate your programs. One of the biggest concerns I had in Scottsdale is not necessarily that they needed to reimagine what some of their schools look like, maybe retool or pursue popular student programming. It's that they didn't even give that as much opportunity for exploration. It was more about managing decline than reimagining what's possible for students and families. I'd like to see schools take a hard look at the product that they're selling. There are In Scottsdale, for instance, back in 2010, Scottsdale commanded 71% of the student population. Now it's 56%. And school choice has a role in that. But I also think that schools need to take a look in the mirror at what products they're offering and whether they need to update um, update what they're offering with the times and what parents and families want. That is the environment of school choice that we're in. And I feel like a lot of our schools, especially our school districts, are just living in a different era. And they need to make investments in programming that resonate with the families they serve.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're going to have a packed agenda. I'm looking forward to hearing from our superintendent of public instruction next January. Governor Hobbs has proposed to eliminate the ESAs in her last three budgets, and she's used the savings from that to fund or balance her budget that she's proposed to the legislature. And that policy is quite unrealistic, isn't going to happen, and really complicates us negotiating a budget in a timely manner. We're heading into some pretty tough budget times that I haven't seen since the Great Recession. And what's important to me is that we protect as much as we can our investments in K-12 education and higher education. These are investments that are going to pay dividends, provided that we're using those dollars appropriately, that they're focused on students, that they're focused on academic outcomes and achievement, instead of continuing the status quo that has led us to where we are right now.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.